weekly update. I am happy to say that I am still in full recovery mode from Teacher Appreciation Week. No, it's not really recovery mode, but it is definitely just getting back to normal without the ups and downs of all that week entailed. It's just been a pretty steady week, for me. Just hitting my calorie goals each day. Even going under, 1 or 2, 3, sometimes 4 calories. I mean, like that's a big deal for me because as much as I try to stay with my calories, I try not to be under my calories either. And when I say stay with, is like not going over or exceeding my calorie goal. But do stay tuned for this very special interview. Is with one of my nieces, my second oldest niece actually, Ajea Tysor. She provides some really good insight into just weight loss and health. As far as what even with her being a younger woman, is some of the things that she's or challenges that she's run into on her weight loss journey. So it's a really good interview. Take time, watch it, enjoy. See you all soon.
Oh, I'm Ajay. I am 20. Ooh, how old am I? I'm 27. I'll be 28 this year. I'm a mother of three, and after having my third child, I realized that I wanted to change my life because I was tired of running behind them and being out of breath.
Okay. Well, that I think I would say that's a really, I'm saying important or vital discovery, even at 27 years old. But I'm gonna let you speak to it then. How do you think a 27-year-old should feel after chasing their children?
They should not feel out of breath like they need an inhaler. I look at my other friends who are not as big as me and they are way more active with their kids than I wish I could be. But I have noticed since I've taken the stance to change my life, that has drastically changed. So it can only get better from here.
So you've mentioned changing your life. Can you share with us what that means to you? What it mean, changing your life?
I realized that I wanted to live a healthier lifestyle. I did not have a good still don't really have the best relationship with food. And I started realizing that that was affecting my kids. And so I wanted to take the stance now to change that for myself so that way it will change for them as well. I don't want them to grow up with the same issues with food that I had. So I figured this would be the best time to start that journey while they're still young and while I'm still young and able to make that change.
Okay. So what's the struggle? How would you, because I'm just letting you define things and try to instead of trying to define things for you, because I think we all need to
Mhm.
come to our own reality about, what issues are for us, so what would you describe as your challenges?
Food is a happy place for me. When I am sad, I binge eat like crazy. That's my issue. I am a binge eater. I could go all day without eating, and then it's like, I'm like, just sit down in one sitting and I could just eat like 3,000 calories, which is horrible. But I could do that in one sitting because it was what made me happy. And I started realizing that food not necessarily just made me happy, but a lot of my emotions were off of food. If I'm sad, I want to eat. If I'm happy, I want something sweet. Food was just consuming too much of my emotion when I need to be figuring out, okay, are you actually hungry or are you sad? Do you need to go lay down somewhere? Do you need to drink some water? Do you need to get outside and touch some grass? Or are you actually hungry? So, since I've been kind of changing that about myself, I'm realizing that most of the time I just need a glass of water and that I'm not hungry, I'm sad, and I need to express that in a different way besides binge eating.
Wow, you said some major things there. I think people ignore their emotions more
Mhm.
than we should. And don't ever sit down to think about what is this really coming from. Like you said, like, am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Do I need to take a nap? Do I
Mhm.
just need to sit down somewhere? Do I need to
Yeah.
talk to somebody? So all those things I think are major things that you have shared and will definitely, be of help to someone else, just in hearing those. So for you, what are some of the changes that you have made, as far as your food?
So when I first decided, I would say it was like late September of what year did we just pass? 2022. Um I decided that I did want to go through this journey of getting not even just losing weight, I just wanted to get healthy. So I kind of just sat down and realized like what things I can change, like small changes. But something that really stuck with me is I realized what can I do as a lifestyle change and not just something like, oh, a quick fix because I want to lose weight. So one of the biggest things that I've changed is substituting things for lesser calories. I've completely cut out soda. And if I do have soda, it's usually Coke Zero. I love, love, love Coke
The
Zero.
good stuff.
Yeah. And then I cut out juices for the most part. Maybe now and then I might have like a sweet tea, but just little things I can cut out. I've stopped like when I go to fast food, for example, instead of getting like a Big Mac, I try and get like something that's a little bit lesser calories, like a grilled chicken sandwich. Just little things I can do to still enjoy the foods and the places I like, but do it in moderation.
So, do you feel like you've been successful, or you still have a long way to go on your journey?
I do feel like at first I will say like maybe a month ago, even maybe 3 weeks ago, I would have told you like, oh, I've came so far, I'm doing great. But then I lost my grandmother 2 weeks ago, and I cannot tell you how much weight I put on in the last 2 weeks because I was falling back into old habits of being sad and binge eating. Like, as soon as everybody would go to sleep in the house, I'm in the kitchen trying to find something sweet to eat because I realized like I'm sad.
Mhm.
But I will say that that's just a part of my journey. Something that I need to cope with and realize, what other things I can do besides trying to find comfort in food. But I will say, looking at myself now versus in late September, October, when I started this life journey, I will say that I've came far, but I'm not quite where I would like to be because, just everything in life, you're always going to have a setback. It's just about trying to get out of that, which is actually what I've started this week. I'm back on my calorie deficit. I'm back on, my intermittent fasting, doing what I need to get myself out of the hole that I went back into.
With that, I don't want to belabor the point, but I just want to say, like, when those emotions rise again, like, do you think you have enough in place to, stick with, what you're doing, or would it be okay to maybe have a Cinnabon or whatever, in that moment? What's your
Well,
thinking?
looking at myself right now versus 2 weeks ago when I, got that devastating news. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty nice these last 2 weeks, eating whatever I wanted, being in North Carolina and throwing down on all the food, Bojangles every day. It was nice, but then I realized that okay, you had your 2 weeks to, do that. Now it's time to get back into things. So honestly, I don't regret my setback because I think if anything, it makes me kind of stronger because it's like you can do that. You can binge eat and you can have your little setback, but you still know what you need to do to get back. Yes, it's a setback, but at the same time, I saw this on TikTok actually from somebody who's going through the same thing as me. Um, you know, you want what did she say? It was like it was more fun like on vacation to pig out and have the experience because when you go home you can get back on track. So it's like have the food for the memories, the good food, but just know that you have to get back to where you were before. So that's what I've been doing this week. I've been getting back on track.
Okay. Before we wrap it up, I do have this question. Like for myself, being, up and down with my weight basically most of my life, especially my adult life after, playing basketball in college. I did start to experience some issues, in my body, like, feet swelling,
Mhm.
a hard time sleeping, heartburn. I mean, just all kinds of issues. Borderline diabetic, blood pressure would be high. Just all kinds of different things. So, can you say at 27 that you've experienced any of those things, or no, not yet, or not at all?
Definitely. That was what made me realize like you have a problem
Hmm.
because my feet were so like after I had my son Julian, I realized several months later, like, why are my feet still swollen like this? Why are my hands still swollen like this? Why do I feel like this? It's not the postpartum at this point. I realized you're just big. That's how I realized, like, I do not want to be a diabetic.
Mhm.
I need to fix myself. And that's when I realized, like, jewelry is a lot looser on me now. My clothes there aren't hugging me as much. Sandals that I was wearing last summer, I put them on last week and they're loose on me. So it's like all that stuff that I was scared of that was going to happen, I realized because I sat down and said, this is not going to be you, it's starting to change. Now it's not huge changes. I'm not dropping, you know 40 pounds. It's gradual, but it's definitely happening because I don't see the swelling anymore. I don't feel like I need to go to a doctor because I'm pre-diabetic. I feel like I've, gotten to a place where I can just go up from here.
Okay. All right, good. And if you had one thing to say to somebody, like they may be in a dire, situation with just it could be their thinking, it could be related to food. Like, what would you want to leave the people with?
Take small steps to the goal. Like set small goals for yourself that you know that you can achieve. Don't put in your head, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Put in your head, I'm going to lose 5 pounds. Once you get to that 5 pounds, okay, I'm going to lose 5 more pounds. But if you gain 2 pounds here and there, it's fine. It's normal. But just remember to just keep going and keep trying. You can always start over fresh. If you have a cinnamon bun today, it's fine. Tomorrow, make sure you don't have another cinnamon bun. Keep going. That's something I have to keep reminding myself. No matter what, keep going. If you step on the scale and one day it's up 2 pounds, but the next day it's down 5 pounds, just keep going because any progress is progress.
Okay, all right, good. Well, definitely thank you for joining Food Mostly. Your testimony, your story will be valued and greatly appreciated.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed being here and hopefully you can have me back again.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.